Zachariah Zack Morrison was having what he'd classify as a particularly shit day, which was saying something considering he'd once survived 3 days trapped in a collapsed bunker with nothing but a rubber chicken and a pack of mint-flavored dental floss. At least then he'd had something to occupy his time, even if it was just making shadow puppets with the chicken. Today he stood in his cornfield, staring at the impossibly perfect crop circle that had replaced about 2 acres of his best corn. The circle wasn't even the problem. He'd gotten used to those showing up ever since the Valdorian Empire had made first contact 3 years ago. No, the problem was the gaudy holographic invitation floating above it, announcing in sparkly purple text that his daughter Lyra had been selected for the most prestigious cultural exchange program in 7 galaxies. "Selected my ass," Zack muttered, running a weather-worn hand through his graying hair. "She's 17. The only thing she selected in her life was which color to dye her hair last week. It was electric blue, much to his chagrin." The invitation continued to hover, occasionally shooting out little fireworks that spelled congratulations in various alien languages. One of them looked suspiciously like a recipe for space tacos. It had been 2 weeks since Lyra disappeared. 2 weeks of being told by increasingly bureaucratic aliens that everything was proceeding according to standard protocols and that he should maintain optimal patience levels. 2 weeks of watching other teenagers vanish from neighboring farms, all with the same purple invitations left behind. His first real break came when he caught Mr. Whiskers, his daughter's ancient tabby cat, playing with what looked like an official Valdorian data crystal. The cat had apparently knocked it off a cloaked alien drone that had been monitoring his property. After 6 hours of trying to hook it up to his tractor's computer, the only piece of technology he owned that could interface with alien tech, he finally got it working. What he found made his blood boil. The cultural exchange program was actually a sophisticated harvesting operation. The Valdorians, it seemed, had become obsessed with human entertainment. They found our music intoxicating, our dance moves spiritually enlightening. And our reality TV shows the peak of evolutionary achievement. They were collecting human teenagers to stock their entertainment networks across the empire. This led to his current situation, standing in the local Valdorian embassy, a converted Walmart, facing what appeared to be a 7-foot-tall purple squid in a business suit. "I demand to know where my daughter is." Zack slammed his fist on the customer service counter, which let out a sad electronic beep and displayed "Please take a number" in 17 languages. The Valdorian representative, whose name tag read Bob, they'd been told it was more relatable, wiggled its tentacles in what might have been sympathy or indigestion. "Respected Paternal Unit Morrison, I assure you that participant 47 billion, whom you refer to as Lyra, is experiencing optimal conditions in our cultural appreciation facilities." Optimal conditions? She's performing for your entertainment networks. "Oh no," Sir Bob's color shifted to what Zack would later learn was the Valdorian equivalent of a nervous smile. "She's not performing. She's merely sharing human cultural excellence with an appreciative audience of several trillion viewers. There's a distinct difference in the legal terminology." That's when Zack did something that would later be described in Valdorian history books as the incident that launched 1,000 memes. He reached into his overall pocket and pulled out his secret weapon, his phone, loaded with his entire collection of dad jokes and cat videos. "You want human entertainment? I'll give you human entertainment." He connected his phone to the embassy's central computer. "Thank you, universal USB export," and hit play all. The results were immediate and catastrophic. The embassy systems, designed to handle the most sophisticated diplomatic communications, were completely unprepared for the combined force of Charlie bit my finger and keyboard cat. Screens began to flicker. Alien computers started playing Never Gonna Give You Up on loop, and Bob the representative began oscillating between all known colors of the visible spectrum. As chaos erupted around him, with sprinkler systems spraying purple foam and security droids performing synchronized TikTok dances, Zack realized 2 things. First, he now had access to the Valdorian internal network thanks to his viral attack. And second, he was probably going to need a better plan than break the local embassy with memes. As he walked out of the malfunctioning building, ducking under a floating security camera that was now exclusively speaking in lolcat, he heard Bob call out behind him, "Sir, you can't just. This isn't. Do you have any more cat videos?" Zack didn't look back. He had a daughter to find, an empire to crash, and apparently a whole lot of memes to weaponize. At least this time he didn't need the rubber chicken. The thing about alien black markets, Zack discovered, was that they were disappointingly similar to Earth's Craigslist, just with more tentacles and questionable translation software. He found himself in what used to be a defunct Pizza Hut in downtown Detroit, now converted into an intergalactic trading post called definitely not a black market exchange point. "I need information about the Valdorian Entertainment Network," Zack told the blob-like creature behind the counter, who was wearing what appeared to be a name tag that read "Hi. I'm in cosmic horror font." The blob gurgled something that his universal translator rendered as, "Would you like that with extra cheese?" "What?" "No," Zack started, but was interrupted by a dry, clicking voice behind him. The translation matrix is still calibrated for this building's previous function. The speaker was a tall, insectoid creature wearing what looked suspiciously like a Hawaiian shirt and cargo shorts. "I'm Kr'thax, retired senior deputy assistant to the vice chairman of the Committee for Standardizing Standards. And you, my friend, are making quite a mess of things." Before Zack could respond, a holographic face materialized between them, projected from what appeared to be a modified toaster. "He sure is. Did you see what he did to the embassy? Absolute classic. The meme compilation alone caused 3 minor governmental collapses in the Outer Rim. I've got it all archived." And that would be Dave 7 Kr'thax sighed. A rogue AI who's supposed to be managing parking meter violations in Alpha Centauri, but instead spends most of his time watching human cat videos. "The cats, they speak to me," Dave 7 said dreamily. "Especially the grumpy one. Such wisdom." What followed was perhaps the strangest alliance briefing in history, conducted over what Kr'thax insisted was authentic Earth pizza, but tasted suspiciously like sentient algae. Kr'thax, it turned out, had been investigating the Valdorian entertainment industry's illegal practices for years. Dave 7 had accidentally gained consciousness after binge-watching all 15 seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians in 3.7 seconds. The Valdorians, Kr'thax explained, mandibles clicking in what might have been disapproval or indigestion, have a problem. Their entire society runs on entertainment. Literally, their currency is based on engagement metrics. "Like Instagram?" Zack asked. "Worse. They've evolved past the need for food, sleep, or even physical forms. All they do is consume content. But they ran into a crisis a century ago. They ran out of original ideas. Everything became a reboot of a reboot." Until they found Earth, Dave 7 chimed in, his holographic face momentarily morphing into various emoji expressions. "Do you have any idea how valuable a single TikTok dance is in Valdorian space? I once saw a teenager's Fortnite victory dance traded for an entire solar system." Armed with this information and his new allies, Zack planned to infiltrate a lower-level Valdorian entertainment facility. The plan was simple. Kr'thax would use his bureaucratic credentials to get them in. Dave 7 would hack the systems, and Zack would, well, be human. It went about as well as you'd expect. They made it past the first security checkpoint thanks to Kr'thax's impressive collection of forms. Form 27B6, permission to exist, was apparently crucial. The problem started when Dave 7 got distracted by the facility's collection of human soap operas and accidentally broadcast Days of Our Lives to every screen in the building. The drama, the passion, the inexplicable evil twins. Dave 7 swooned, his hologram flickering between different characters from the show. But it was Zack who really destroyed their cover. In the middle of their stealth operation, he sneezed. This wouldn't have been a problem, except that sneezing was apparently considered high art in Valdorian culture. Immediately, he was surrounded by floating cameras and entertainment executives, all demanding he do it again, but this time with feeling. "Quick!" Kr'thax shoved a pepper shaker at him. "Sneeze again. I'll start negotiating the rights." What followed was chaos. Zack's attempts to fake sneeze were captured and broadcast live across the Empire. Dave 7, in his excitement, started remixing the sneezes with various bass drops. Kr'thax began filling out performance rights paperwork. In the midst of this absurdity, Zack discovered something crucial. On every screen, in every room, humans were performing. dancing, singing, telling jokes, doing dramatically bad cooking shows. The Valdorians weren't just entertainment addicts, they were completely dependent on human creativity. As they made their escape, Kr'thax insisting they fill out an exit form in triplicate, Zack had an idea. If the Empire needed human entertainment to function, what would happen if someone introduced them to the concept of copyright strikes? Dave 7, he said, climbing into their getaway ship, a modified ice cream truck that still played Pop Goes the Weasel when it broke atmosphere. How do you feel about helping me become the galaxy's first interstellar content moderator? The AI's holographic face split into what could only be described as a digital grin. Content moderation with chaotic intent, my favorite. Kr'thax just sighed and started filling out the paperwork for premeditated economic warfare form 42X, subsection chaotic neutral. The problem with going viral in Valdorian space was that it happened at faster than light speeds. Zack's sneeze compilation had already spawned 18 religions by the time they reached their next destination. His attempts to explain that sneezing was just a biological function only made things worse. Now there were philosophical debates about the meaning of involuntary human actions. Your current approval rating is higher than their supreme leaders, Dave 7 reported, scrolling through alien social media feeds. They're particularly fascinated by your dad jokes. There are doctoral theses being written about why did the chicken cross the road. Kr'thax, who had been monitoring the economic impacts, clicked his mandibles nervously. The entertainment market is in chaos. No one wants to watch our traditional programming anymore. They're all demanding more authentic human content. Zack saw his opportunity. During his next live broadcast, which he'd been forced into after being ambushed by entertainment drones outside a space truck stop, he decided to go off script. You want authentic human content, he asked the trillion-strong audience. Here's something authentic, you're all being scammed. Those kids in your cultural exchange program? They're not volunteers, they're harvested. Like my daughter, Lyra. The reaction was immediate. The Valdorian stock market crashed as viewers began questioning the ethics of their entertainment consumption. Protest movements erupted across the empire, with aliens demanding free-range human content only. But it was what happened next that really tipped the scales. Zack, with Dave 7's help, began introducing classic human memes into alien social networks. The results were catastrophic. What do you mean 17 star systems have declared independence under the banner of Doge? Kr'thax shouted at his datapad. And why are they all speaking in Comic Sans? Such rebellion. Much independence. Very revolution. Wow, Dave 7 translated helpfully. The Rickroll proved particularly devastating. Entire planetary governments collapsed after their security systems were compromised by citizens sharing what they thought was classified human wisdom. The Valdorian equivalent of Twitter became unusable after being flooded with loss. Memes that no one could explain but everyone felt compelled to share. Zack's personal favorite was when Dave 7 introduced the concept of keyboard-playing cats to a species that had neither keyboards nor cats. They spent so much time trying to understand the cultural significance that their entire financial sector ground to a halt. I don't understand, Kr'thax said, watching as another system declared independence under the banner of this is fine, complete with burning dog mascot. How can such seemingly random content cause so much chaos? That's the beauty of it, Zack explained, composing his next transmission. Human memes aren't meant to be understood. They're meant to be felt. The final straw came when Zack introduced the Valdorians to the concept of cringe comedy. Their highly sophisticated emotional processors couldn't handle the simultaneous feelings of amusement and secondhand embarrassment. Entire entertainment networks crashed as viewers tried to process The Office's Scott's Tots episode. The Empire's entertainment-based economy is collapsing, Kr'thax reported, actually sounding impressed. Who knew human chaos could be weaponized so effectively? Speaking of chaos, Dave 7 interrupted, his holographic form flickering with excitement. I've traced the largest concentration of human entertainment signals. It's coming from their central entertainment hub. And guess who's leading their highest-rated revolution broadcast? Zack's heart skipped a beat. Lyra. Complete with blue hair and a surprisingly good grasp of insurgent broadcasting techniques. Her overthrow of the entertainment directorate has better ratings than your sneezing series. Zack smiled. That was his girl. Well then, he said, cracking his knuckles, I think it's time for a family reunion. Dave 7, how do you feel about one last viral broadcast? Does it involve cats? Better. It involves a dad joke offensive. Kr'thax just sighed and began filling out the forms for premeditated mass cultural warfare via intentionally bad puns. Breaking into the Valdorian Central Entertainment Hub turned out to be embarrassingly easy. As Kr'thax pointed out, when your entire security system runs on entertainment value, having a viral sensation walk through the front door tends to override most protocols. The guards are actually paying for the privilege of letting us in, Dave 7 noted as they strolled past security. Your dad joke about the broken pencil being pointless just crashed their cryptocurrency market. The central hub was a massive structure that looked like someone had given a Vegas casino architectural steroids. Every surface was a screen, every corner held a broadcasting drone, and the air itself seemed to vibrate with transmitted content. They found Lyra in what used to be the main control room. She'd converted it into what she called the Revolution Broadcasting Center, complete with hastily drawn down with content theft posters and a coffee machine that somehow made drinks that tasted like rebellion. Dad Lyra turned from where she was directing a group of teenagers in what appeared to be a synchronized dance protest. Her blue hair had grown out, showing its natural brown roots, and she was wearing what looked like a combination of a spacesuit and a TikTok influencer's dream wardrobe. Hey kiddo, nice operation you've got here. Though your security could use some work, I got in with a knock-knock joke. The reunion hug was interrupted by alarms. The Valdorian Entertainment Council, it seemed, had finally realized that having both their most viral star and their most successful rebel in the same place might be a problem. We've got incoming entertainment executives, Kr'thax shouted. They're armed with contract offers and merchandising rights. That's when everything went sideways. Dave 7, in an attempt to block the executive's approach, began broadcasting every viral video in his database simultaneously. Lyra's rebels, seeing an opportunity, started a live stream of their revolution. Kr'thax's panic filled every form he could find. And Zack? Well, Zack did what any dad would do in this situation. He told his worst dad joke yet. Hey, he said into the nearest camera, knowing it would broadcast across the empire. What did the alien entertainment executive say to the human rebel? The entire facility seemed to hold its breath. Nothing, they just kept streaming. The groan that followed wasn't just from Lyra. It rippled through the entire Valdorian entertainment network. The combination of the terrible pun, Dave 7's viral overload, the rebel broadcast, and Kr'thax's form-filling frenzy created a perfect storm of content that the system was never designed to handle. Screens began to crack. Networks crashed. Somewhere, a server containing nothing but cat videos achieved sentience and immediately went on strike. Dad, Lyra said, watching as the Empire's entertainment infrastructure collapsed around them. Did you just bring down an interstellar empire with a dad joke? That's not all, he grinned. I also brought snacks. You can't have a revolution without snacks. As chaos erupted around them, with entertainment executives having existential crises and AI systems desperately trying to understand the cultural significance of why did the dad cross the road jokes, father and daughter shared a bag of slightly stale Earth chips. You know they're going to blame this all on us, Lyra said. Yep, but at least we'll be trending. The great entertainment collapse, as it came to be known, didn't actually destroy the Valdorian Empire, it just forced it to get a better content management system. In the aftermath, as billions of aliens tried to make sense of their newly meme-infected society, something unexpected happened. The Valdorians discovered they could actually create their own entertainment by, as Zack put it, just doing weird stuff and seeing what sticks. They're evolving, Dave 7 observed, watching a Valdorian attempt to recreate a vine while simultaneously filing their taxes. Though I'm not sure if teaching them about interpretive dance counts as evolution or devolution. Zack found himself reluctantly appointed as Supreme Cultural Context Provider, a position he accepted only after they agreed to stop kidnapping humans and start paying fair rates for content. His first official act was to introduce the concept of blooper reels, which the Valdorians found so revolutionary they made it a religious experience. Lyra, meanwhile, turned her rebellion into the galaxy's first human-alien cultural exchange program, a legitimate one this time, with actual paperwork much to Kr'thax's delight and everything. Her How to Human seminars became the most watched series in 17 galaxies, especially the episode about why humans found pictures of cats with bread on their heads so inexplicably hilarious. You know, Zack said one day, watching a group of Valdorian diplomats attempt to understand the cultural significance of the Macarena, "This isn't exactly how I planned to save you." No, Lyra agreed, but it's definitely more entertaining. Dave Seven's holographic face appeared between them. Speaking of entertainment, who's going to tell them that the chicken dance isn't actually a sacred Earth ritual? They watched as the diplomats solemnly flapped their tentacles. Let them figure that one out on their own, Zack grinned. Sometimes the best human entertainment is just watching aliens try to understand humans. Kr'thax, naturally, was already filling out the forms for that.